Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over an interesting topic, in my opinion, that a lot of people haven't really gone over yet. I think there's a lot of debate with it online between different numerologists, so I want to bring some clarification to this today so that everybody fully understands it. The truth about numerology trines is this, is that you can be in the same trine as another number and then still have issues with that said number based upon how those vibrations interconnect. But the main thing is that the trines are there to show that there's different topics or different subjects, different situations, that there's three different groups of life paths that will go through essentially, right? So that's the thing, is that when you look at the trines, we can all agree pretty much that on your phone, I've been teaching this in readings for years now, your phone will show you what the trines are. If you look at the dial pad vertically, you'll see that you have 147, 258, 369, right? So everything with these elite people, they have to teach it to us directly in our face, but they don't have to say, hey, this is what it is. But it's the same idea of when you go to a grocery store and there's organic apples and regular apples. You obviously know that when something's not organic, it's not that great for you in comparison to the organic that they're claiming is good for you. Whole other subject and debate, but this is just an example of what I mean. Excuse me. So going into the topic today, there's three different trines, and it's very important that you know what trine you're in, because then you'll understand more about what lessons you're supposed to be learning or what they're pertaining to. So to start off, first trine is 147. Life paths 1, life paths 4, 22, and then life path 7. I'm not giving master numbers a separate trine. Some people do that. I'm not, because a lot of master numbers don't even actually live up to their vibration. They're just on that base vibration anyways. So a 22 would be 4. So 1, 4, and 7 are here to learn about self-sufficiency. And what that means is this, is that life path 1s are meant to be leaders and innovators, but they typically have to go against the grain in order to do so. They have to find themselves a very strong sense of individuality. The ones that do, meaning the life path 1s that do, they tend to do very well in life. Sometimes they have a bit of a controversial character, but nonetheless, they are actually considered to be very successful materially because they found that sense of self that drives everything else that they do when it comes to their decision making. For 4s, once they get a strong sense of self, and 22s, a 4 will then become a very successful person because they're already the hardest worker in the room. I always tell everybody that's had a consult with me knows if they're a 4, I'm like, you're the hardest working person you know. Like, get out of here. Like, you should be an entrepreneur. You should be somebody who's striving for more in life because you deserve it. You karmically deserve it. You guys are the best when it comes to just working hard and just putting the sacrifices forth. So as a result, 4s have to learn about stability within oneself, meaning instead of looking at like a company or your relationships or family for that sense of like stability, that sense of stability is going to come from self-confidence, which is why I always tell 4s, right? Last is life path 7s. 7s is considered the loner number, also the genius. G is the 7th letter. We already know this. So as a result, number 7 people are usually supposed to be, yes, by themselves to a certain extent, but they can still get married, have great marriages. They can still have great occupations like an Elon Musk or a Steve Jobs or a Bruce Lee. The idea behind it is this, is that as a 7, you have to achieve mastery within yourself. The first thing you must master is yourself, and then you're going to master a tangible or intangible thing, whether that be martial arts like a Bruce Lee, whether that be business like Elon Musk, whether that be tech like a Steve Jobs. You have to master something afterwards, or marketing like a Steve Jobs, to be quite honest. But either way, you have to master something. That's the key. Is as a 7, you have to master yourself first, and then you master something else. And that gives you self-sufficiency. So 1, 4, and 7, the reason you guys will get along technically is because you all are on a journey to find self-sufficiency. So the 4, you're not looking for security, you're really looking for stability within yourself. The 7, you're not really a loner, you're meant to find completion within yourself. 1, you're not supposed to be that lonely person at the top, you're supposed to find that resolution and that inner strength in yourself. So you don't need anybody else, right? The next one is 2, 5, and 8. So people will be like, okay, what's 2, 5, and 8 about then? 1, 4, and 7 is about self-sufficiency. 2, 5, and 8 is about discipline. And I include 11 in that. Now, the number 2 is very emotionally volatile. Moon is the governor over emotions. Moon governs the number 2, right? Most 11s operate as 2s anyways. If you're a 2 or an 11, your main thing in life is going to be about mastering your own emotions. But really mastering your emotions comes down to, I feel like this, but I got to do this. I got to get this objective done. The 1s, 4, and 7s don't have a problem with that. They're the ones who will preach it all day. I feel like crap, but I still get what I need to get done. They just don't have that self-confidence all the time. They don't have that self-sufficiency. They feel lonely. You, on the other hand, have lack of discipline. You will always put yourself in a victim situation as a 2 or an 11. You'll say, oh, because this happened, yay is me, woe is me, whatever, and my life sucks, right? And it doesn't suck. You need to be more emotionally stoic. As a man or a woman, doesn't matter if you're a 2 or 11, you need to be more emotionally stoic. Once you master your emotions, you master yourself, but that's discipline. It's not really about like learning about yourself the way 1s, 4s, and 7s were. It's about more so disciplining your emotions by acting against them at times and then knowing when to use them, like things like your intuition or sixth sense, especially as an 11. You have to know when to follow that, right? But it's really about mastering and honing in on your emotions to drive manifestation forward. The next one's 5. 5, I always preach this. Nobody else online has ever preached this, that 5 has an enhanced 5 senses. The 5 is the 5 because of their 5 senses. Because of that, you guys are very predisposed to vices. You guys are very, very predisposed to just really getting overly attached to things like alcohol, sex, caffeine, tobacco, drugs, whatever. 5s will get attached to things because it feels very exhilarating to them. I get it. I have a name number 5. I get it. If you're a life path 5, especially if you're a 14 over 5, God forbid, you need to be extremely disciplined because you want freedom, but the gateway to your freedom is through daily discipline by making the right choices daily, right? So you need to be that person that's able to say, I'll put my vices aside. I replace each vice with a set of discipline by hardening your mind until it's iron. You have to be that person that can go against your senses, meaning your 5 senses, and say, I don't need to be doing this, tasting this type of food or smoking this or whatever. I have to ignore these things, abstain from my 5 senses, and find inner discipline within myself. And that's how you find completion as a 5, and overall, that's how you get your freedom. Because what's caging you is your lusts and your wants. But the moment you can let go of those things or at least moderate them and detach, that's when you'll have full control of your life. And then with that control, you get freedom to do whatever you want. All right. Last one's number 8. And number 8's like, come on, like if you've been watching my channel any at all, you should know that your message is discipline anyways. Self-actualization. The only way as an 8, no matter what compound digit 8 you are, 17, 26, 35, 44, 53, whatever, you have to be a disciplined 8. As an 8, you're meant to get money and have status. What was the 8 before money then? It was about self-actualization. It was about power acquisition. It was about dominating your reality. And it was overall about discipline. You're in the discipline trine. As an 8, as a 2, or as a 5, you shouldn't even have vices at all. Meaning we shouldn't have no vices. I have vices. I have a monster right now. I shouldn't even be having this. Shouldn't be having it. So I'm not even doing it. Right? So that's the thing, is like we have to really plug in and say, we don't need caffeine. We don't need alcohol. We don't need to smoke. We don't need any of this crap. We should be people that are completely self-automated, just completely self-sufficient in that sense. Not like the 1s, 4s, and 7s. They can do this. We have the problem with it. We'll belong to our emotions. We want to take on the victim mentality. We want to have vices. We want to say that, oh, woe is me because of a circumstance. I'm an 8. Life's hard. Saturn's slowing me down. All this garbage, right? It's all excuses. If you're an 8, you need to be very militant. And the more militant, the more you restrict yourself, is the more riches you're going to accumulate. The more I posted on YouTube regularly at any period of my life for the last 4 years, the more money I made in other places as well. The more I work out is the more money I make, the more viewership I get, more subscribers, all that stuff. Everything interconnects when you're a 2, 5, or an 8 when it comes to your discipline. If you're disciplined in one thing, it just expands to other things and gives you good luck. Discipline is literally your good luck. So you could be doing the same exact thing to get money, but for some reason you'll get more money just because you're going to the gym or because you're keeping your car or room tidy. It's little things. Every little thing matters. So the more you become a machine in that sense, a militant person, is the more you're going to find freedom, the more you're going to get money as an 8, and the more you'll be able to find emotional equilibrium as a 2 or an 11. So that's the discipline trine. Without that discipline, we turn into mush. We're nothing. We get run over by everybody else. All right? Last one is 3, 6, or 9. I'll include 33 in this as well for the 6s because most 33s just operate like 6s anyways. 3, 6, and 9 is meant to learn about interpersonal dynamics. And what that means is that they're meant to be social. They're very creative. We already know that. It's you guys' year as well, 2025, 9 years. So 3, 6, and 9 will do very well this year as life paths. But you guys have to let go of your longing for group or family. And what that means is that you guys naturally have good skill sets. Let's start with the 3s. You guys are usually childlike prodigies, very good in something. It's up to you to make sure that you market yourself properly or that you use your ability to gain a sense of what your version of success is, right? Whatever that is. Is it living in Dubai with tax-free, just monstrous income? Is it living in New York? Is it living in greenery? Whatever it is, you got to figure out what your skill set is. Are you going to market it? Do you want to become famous or you just want to be successful? What exactly is it for you? But what's going to block you is, they try to say 3s is discipline too, but what it more so is usually your social life is what blocks you. You guys are naturally very popular people in school. You get the most friends. You guys are always attracted to multiple sets of people, meaning like the goth kids, the gangster kids, the athletes. You guys get along with sort of everybody and can mesh with people very well. So you're chameleons in that sense. That's a very good skill set to have if you can monetize or if you use it to garner your attention on social media. But it's not useful if you just use it as a distraction to say, I should be putting in work because I want to be the best pianist in the world or something, but I'm out in the club every Friday instead of practicing, right? Or I'm hungover, so I'm not going to practice. You got to be the type of person that can put your interpersonal life to the side and then do what's right at the time. This does go back to discipline to a certain extent, except it's a little bit different. With the 2, 5s, and 8s, it was more so about their emotional longings that will draw them to more so do things that are undisciplined. For you guys, it's more so your life circumstance. You're very popular. So you got to more so compartmentalize your social life and then make time for the things that are actually going to build your foundation. 1s, 4s, and 7s don't have that problem. 2, 5s, and 8s can sometimes have that problem, but they still can outwork you. 3, 6s, and 9s, you guys have a social problem. You have a lot of social mobility, and usually that causes you a lot of obstruction, especially 3s and 6s. Going into the 6s now, you guys' problem usually comes via family. Either you have like a longing for family that's not quite prevalent, not there, or you guys have a family life that's very dynamic that distracts you from what you're supposed to be doing as well. Typically, it's the first, not the latter. Like some lucky people, I guess, with 6, they'll have like great families that have like barbecues every weekend and they get to go do a whole bunch of stuff and it distracts them from their career. But a lot of the times, that's more so a 3 thing. With 6s, it's usually a matter of having broken families and they have a longing for family or for a social life or a network of sorts that they feel like is missing. But if you always feel like that missing sense, you're going to get taken advantage of by predatory people that can hone in on your weaknesses. That's why I always warn people with 6. I'm like, don't let predatory people get to you and change your perspective or just use you for your resource because you guys are very accommodating. You got to make sure that you keep your mind straight and don't let emotions distract you, right? Because you guys are all in that interpersonal, that social trine. That social trine is all about creativity, but also about interpersonal dynamics. So understanding how to get along with people, compartmentalize people to be different types of friends. Some friends are going to be a little bit like, oh, you're more of an acquaintance, you're treacherous. Some friends are going to be very good ones that you can treat like a brother or sister. And then some friends are going to be people you just see recreationally for the club or for some sports, right? So you got to put these things in perspective in order to get the best results out of your life. For a 33, it's the same thing. You guys want to teach everybody. You guys want to give. But what are you getting from people? I'm not saying be a transactional or Machiavellian or utilitarian person, but you also got to put things in perspective to see who's doing what for you and why. Are their intentions pure? Right? So it's all for 3s and 6s. It's about you guys learning about who people are, how they operate, and how they're going to benefit you, and how are you benefiting them karmically. Last but not least, 9s. Life path 9s, I'd say, have some of the hardest lives out there, and it's very like not talked about, I've noticed. But 9s usually have to mature very quickly within their family unit or even amongst their friends. Like they're the people that you see in a store, you ask them like, oh, where is this? And they don't even work there, right? They have that very authoritarian demeanor or just that competent sort of posture. So as a result, 9s are very much fixated on finding success and completion within themselves. Yes, they could be a little bit up in their heads at times based on the shape of the 9. True. But they're like that because of a past life that, not even a past life, the current life that they're in, but the earlier stages of their life where they had to mature so quickly. As a 9, you have to mature so quickly that you don't really have time to really like find out who your authentic self was. You're more so accommodating other people. Again, it comes down to interpersonal dynamics. That's what's actually distracting you, is the family issues you have to go through, the friendship issues, any sort of abuse. These things are scarring you up here, and then they're distracting you from what you're supposed to actually be doing as your life purpose. So again, as a 9, you're meant to be a hidden commander, that lobbyist. I always say the 1 is like the president, the 9 is the lobbyist. It's the person that's the power behind the power, that's maneuvering things. As a 9, you have to figure out a way to put yourself in a powerful position by first finding completion within oneself. Yes, very important, just like with the 1. However, your main issue is going to be how to incorporate your authentic self and then integrate that with your social life. Once you figure out how to do that and have the right people around you, success will come very naturally. All right, so that's the 3 trines, guys. If you have any questions about anything, just please let me know in the comment section. Aside from that, that's it for today. Like, subscribe, holla at me, guys. That's it. Peace.